Hi guys, it's vacation time. It's summertime, so everyone is, going somewhere beautiful to be on the beach, to visit some cities around. Hopefully, the COVID situation doesn't keep you restricted. I for one last week I went on vacation to Lisbon, Portugal, and it was amazing. And if you struggle with migraines, you will know that this time, the summertime during vacations, can actually be tough times for you because if you travel from where you are to a new place, the changes in the environment can actually trigger a lot of migraines, especially if your triggers are environmental. So this could be, changes in temperature, in the pressure, in the humidity, you know, if there are rains or strong air pollutants, things like that could really, really trigger your migraines. And even the change in nutrition, because when we go on vacation, we tend to eat very differently, right? We just want to try the local cuisine and all of that. And you may not be aware that this could actually trigger your migraines. So, what are some ways to actually keep your migraines on the check or to have mastery over them during your vacation period? Well, I'm going to give you 7 ways to keep them under control. So the first one is, if you can, just avoid them altogether, right? Like if you know that a change in temperature, if you're going from a colder climate to a very warm climate and you know that it's going to be tough, then it may make more sense for you to have your vacation in a similar climate condition. So if you're going from North America, for example, and it's cooler there and you're traveling to Asia, where the pollution is a bit higher, you may struggle a lot more. Like I, for one, whenever I travel to Africa or Asia, I really struggle because the air pollutants are just way too much and the change in temperature is just very drastic. So if you can avoid that altogether, then do that. Avoid going to places where you know that it's going to trigger you, but sometimes we can't avoid it, right? Like I've got family in Asia, in Africa as well, and in Europe where I stay. So, I need to travel quite regularly. So I cannot avoid it. So it's more about managing it and gaining mastery over it for me. And it's probably going to be the same thing for you as well. So if you can avoid it, try to avoid it. If you can't, then the next tips will actually work for you. So tip number 2 is actually to plan around the weather. So check the weather where you're going to for vacation and plan around it. If you know it's going to be very rainy one day or it's going to be very sunny, you may decide to stay indoors that day and do more indoor activities or go to like a place like a zoo or an oceanarium or more indoor tourist attractions where you are shielded from the weather, and you can plan that way. And if it's cooler weather, maybe you go out to the beach then and you enjoy the more outdoorsy things. So depending on what triggers you, you can plan around the weather of where you're going to for vacation, and that could really, really help you. During my last trip to Portugal, I did this. One of the days we went to the oceanarium because the sun was just way too much, and that was just not good for me. It would really give me bad migraines. So we went more indoors where it was cooler with the air conditioning and all of that, and it was very nice. And then on the cool days, the other days we went to the beach, but went earlier in the day, so it's still cool. The weather is beautiful. It's not very hot and dry, So by doing this, you can still enjoy your vacation and get the most out of it without feeling like, it was just an opportunity for you to suffer again from migraines. So tip number 3 is to stay hydrated. As much as possible, stay hydrated. Check out your fluids because what you drink could really impact you. Your brain needs the hydration, and if you're in a hotter temperature, you'll be more dehydrated than normal. And you may not be aware of it in the beginning. It may take a while before you realize, oh gosh, I'm really thirsty. But by having a bottle of water with you, like what my wife and I did, was we had several bottles of water with us and we drank that a lot, and we made a conscious choice to stay hydrated, especially for me, and that made a huge difference. Number 4 is check out the food. Watch your nutrition. I know you want to enjoy the local cuisine, you want to try out different foods and all of that and spices, but keep it on a check because some of these things may, if you get triggered by them, then it could make it a tough time for you. So try as much as possible to have more friendly, migraine friendly foods that have less artificial, flavors and coloring and sweetness attached to them, because this can really trigger stuff, trigger migraines for lots of people. Stay with the more friendly things that your body is used to. And you can always get this out, in places, if you're triggered by, high salt content, you can tell the restaurant where you're going to eat, can you reduce the salt, or don't put the salt and I put it myself, things like that. Just be more conscious, and by doing that, you can have a better time. Tip number 5 is one that not a lot of people actually do, but if one of your triggers is bright light, like the sunlight, then you probably already do this, and that's to invest in very good sunglasses or specs. So my specs, for example, are transition, so they change based on the lighting, and this makes a huge difference. So I actually don't get triggered very much from the sunlight anymore, because they just automatically adjust, and that makes a big difference. If I didn't have them, I would not be able to survive outdoors in the bright sun. It's just bad for me. And another one, in addition to it, the bonus one would probably be to check the sound. If you're triggered by lots of sound, why not book a place that is more out in the nature, and then you can visit the cities rather than staying in the cities trying to visit nature. That can be something that could make a huge difference for you, because by having more time spent in quiet places, that could keep your body at a more restful state of being. And then you can visit the other places, but then you don't stay there. You're not stuck in traffic, you're not stuck in the noise, all this. So your body is able to recover and recuperate, for the entire vacation period. Then also the next tip is make sure that you keep stress to a minimum. Vacation is all about distressing, going somewhere to enjoy, but sometimes vacation can also be very stressful for people, especially if you have kids. It's quite a lot of work trying to put everyone together to get to the place. So try as much as possible to keep stress to a minimum. Plan out your day in a way that you can really keep stress to a minimum. Have it planned out way ahead of time. If you're a very planned person, know where you want to go, research where you're going to, whatever you need to do to make sure you're not stressed. Have a conversation with your family so they are aware that your needs are different, because you would have different needs from the rest of your family because of your migraine. So have a conversation with them so they help you, to keep stress to a minimum. And lastly, which is very important, get a lot of sleep. Now, during vacation, you should be getting a lot of sleep, but sometimes we forget to rest because we want to see everywhere. We want to travel, we want to check out this place and that place. And the stress can pile on without you knowing. And quite often, you will not realize it until you get back from your vacation, right? So you're like, oh, I should be rested, but why am I exhausted? Well, it's because you didn't get a lot of rest. So during your vacation, try to rest as much as you can. Maybe split your days where, you go out, then you come back, you rest. Then in the evening again, you go out again, and then you come back and have a longer period of rest. That could make a huge difference for you. So while you want to enjoy everything, make sure that you're aware of your body and some of the limitations that can be there, and due to the triggers, due to migraines and, and all of that. So you can still have a great vacation time with your family. You can still explore the world, travel, try different cuisines. You can still have a fantastic experience if you can put these tips into practice. You'll have a much greater experience, okay? How can I help you in your journey towards mastery over migraines? Well, the first way is for you to download the free Migraine Mastery handbook. It's an ebook which gives you all the 7 strategies to help you gain mastery over migraines so you can maximize your potential. The second one is to join our Facebook group for entrepreneurs and professionals. So it's Migraine Mastery for entrepreneurs and professionals. You can join it. You have to, it's a closed group, so you have to ask and fill a little bit of some questions, and then I will approve you to join. And there I share lots of tips to help you. And lastly, book a free call with me where we work together to solve a specific problem. So during the free call, we'll solve one specific issue that you have for free. We just chat and we solve this problem, and I give you some tips to help you, for no cost. So those will be the 3 ways I can help you today to begin your journey into Migraine Mastery. Thank you very much for watching, and have a lovely week. Bye bye.